Hello everyone, it is Teresa from Teresa's Pop Art, where I love sharing art from my heart and teaching you how to create a little joy in your life through some fun, simple, and quick art projects. Welcome back to 31 Days of Halloween. So, we're doing a little something different today. I have out my 9x12 mixed media pad. You know, I don't always paint in on canvas. My book's falling apart, I think. I have to fix that. I don't always paint on canvas because look around, I have a gazillion of them. I'm not going to worry about my book right now. But what we're doing different is we're going to start with the background today. Usually there is a tracer for this. You can get it. Put tracer in the comments, or if you sign up for my email, or if you signed up for 31 Days of Halloween, you already got the tracer. But we're going to do something different this time. We're going to paint the background and then we're going to do our tracer. So I'm actually going to get a ruler, and you know I rarely use a ruler. And I'm going to line it up on the bottom here. And I'm just going to make a straight line for now. Where's my pen? I had a pencil. Here it is. I'm just going to make a straight line for my tabletop. That is it. Voila. Easy peasy. Okay? And then I'm going to get out, I need another dish. I need those colors, but I need another dish for now. I'm going to get out some of this lime green. And this is a plaid folk art color. But I love it. Some white. And I have black over there. I'll get my black from over there. And some black. I'll do this for now. Okay, I'm going to get out my about inch flat brush. Get it nice and clean. Dry it off. And I'm using this flat brush. Okay? Alright. I am going to load it up with the green. I'm applying a little bit of pressure to my brush. I want my fibers to flare out. And then I'm going to add white. So I had all that green on the brush, and then I just took a corner and stuck it in the white. And now I'm going to start coming in here, and I'm going to do diagonal lines. Okay, pick up some green, pick up some more white, and I'm going to do these diagonal lines. Now you can do your background on this however you want. Sometimes I do a messy background, sometimes I do a more structured background. I'm going to pick up a tiny little bit of black with my green. I'm going to work it in there, and I'm going to come back to my paper. I wanted to get a little bit more variation in there with the colors. So anyway, like I was saying, you can do a diagonal, you can do a messy background, you can do, I'm going to do a whole series of backgrounds on my YouTube. So if you're not a subscriber, you should be, and you'll get notified every time I upload a new live or upload a new video. I can go over my line down here a little bit. I don't want to go over it too much, but I can go over it a little bit because the bottom table there is going to be black, and it'll cover up whatever green I go into my bottom with. Ooh. So if you wanted to do a messier background and not have so much of a diagonal, you could do it like a ombre background, whatever you want. It's your art and it's your way. Okay. Every time I go back, let's make a nice straight line here. Every time I go back, I pick up green, I pick up white, and then I come. And when I'm blending, I blend up to where I was, and then I blend back down to the fresh paint. Then I blend up, and then I blend down. Then I blend up, And as long as I'm moving from my shoulder and not my arm like this, as long as I'm moving from my shoulder up and down, my lines should stay parallel to one another and all on the diagonal. Okay? I'm not even gonna wash my brush. I'm gonna go into my black down here. I'm gonna start painting in the black. I want some white for this, so let me pick up some white. I want to do a nice straight line. Okay, and I'm going to come back in and fill in. Because this is a faux table, tabletop, shelf, whatever, we want these bottom lines to be horizontal, not vertical or on a diagonal like they were up top. So you want your brush, I'm like squeezing out as much gray and black out of here as I can. You want your brush, I'm messing up, you guys, but you want your brush to move like melted butter. You don't want to fight with your brush like I just was. That was not a good example of painting. Okay, but I digress. Anyway, so there we go. So now we have our background. This is actually such a cool background. You could use it for many, many things. I'm gonna grab my dryer. We're gonna get drying on our background, and then we will trace. Now I'm going to get my tracer. I'm going to lay it out. I want a little bit of my SnowGlobe to be within the black. And I think that's good. I'm going to put a little piece of tape up here. I'm going to get my tracing paper. If you wanted to do this by hand, you certainly could. I would suggest getting a plate, a bucket, something that's round to trace to begin with, so you have a nice round circle. I struggle with with drawing circles. I will trace whatever I could find to draw a circle. And then if you needed to, this SnowGlobe is pretty simple too. The important part is that it's pie shaped. So you want it to be narrower up top and get thicker on the bottom. I'm going to trace in my tree. You don't have to trace in the tree. You could draw any old tree that you want. And then I'm going to trace in my haunted house. I guess you noticed by now we're doing a snow globe. That's why we had to paint the background first, because we're going to give the illusion that this is actually glass. Let me see, did I do the whole thing? I'm going to just do these so I know the height. I'm not going to do the others because we'll do them after. Okay. So let's put this aside. Now that we've got that traced on, I'm going to get my liner brush and some nice fresh white. And the first thing I'm going to do is trace my snow globe. Okay. I'm going to roll my brush between my thumb and forefinger. I'm going to come here and I'm going to start tracing in my snow globe with a nice even white line. I want it to cover my pencil marks because since I use the graphite paper, we won't be able to really erase them when we're done. So I'm going right over my graphite paper and concentrating and tracing in my snow globe. My line got a little thin on the bottom, so I'm going to come back. And there we go. Okay. So I outlined my snow globe. It's as round as it's going to be. And I'm going to wash my brush. And now I'm going to pull out my medium. You can get your medium flat brush or medium round brush. I need a little bit more purple. And I'm going to start painting in the base of my snow globe. Alright. I'm going to pick up some purple. I'm going to pick up some white. And I'm going to start on this section because I want my white to dry up there. I'm going to outline it. This way it helps my eye stay where my eye and my paintbrush need to be. Okay, back to my purple. And I want to put these lines in here. I want to curve them. I'm putting a little dip in my brush. I'm going back and forth. And these, get some white again. These lines are curved. Not overly curved, but curved. I'm going to get out as close to I can at the edge because that's where I did my outline, and I want to fill this in. By picking up a little bit of white and filling it in on the curve, we're making more of the illusion that this is in fact a round object. I'm making this base part a little bit darker. I'm not picking up any white this time. And I'm just going to come in and fill it in. Again, on a curve. Okay. And then I have my purple on my brush. Pick up a little bit of white again. And now we're going to do this part underneath. If you can leave the white for your snow globe, great. If not, you could come back in and fix it later. And again, the important thing is that these elements have a curve to them. Okay? You want it to look curvy. Okay, now I'm going to wash my brush. I'm going back to my liner brush because now we're going to do all our little details in black. I'm going to turn this guy upside down so I don't put my hand in the paint. I'm going to get my black. I'm going to turn my liner brush between my thumb and my forefinger. I want to have a nice point on it. And I'm just going to start filling in Again, we don't want to cover the line. If we need to go back in and add white later, we can. Okay, I'm going to do the tree. If you're catching this on the replay and you don't want to sit and watch me color in all this black, you can hit fast forward. Totally up to you. But I'm basically going to be filling in all these shapes, and then we're going to go back. I'm going to show you how we're going to do the windows and the ghosts and the bats. There's a little bit of a whimsy haunted tree. I like to have the tops a little bit more pointy, and then as I pull down, I put a little bit more pressure on my brush. So like for this one, I start out with light pressure for the point, but as I come around, I apply a little bit more pressure, and so my branch gets thicker going into the tree trunk. Okay, and we're just going to keep filling in all this. I am going to go over the doors and the windows. I'm doing my outlining now. If you wanted to, you could do all this with a Sharpie or a Posca pen, or you could do it with the brush and then come back in with a Sharpie or a Posca pen just to get the lines nice and I'm concentrating again. Just to get the lines nice and I don't know, what do you say, thick, clean lines, nice clean lines. But I'm just going to use my brush. That one part down here is underneath the house, so we're going to leave that part. Okay, those other three shapes I put in there, those are the door and a couple of windows. So I put my hand in the purple. So I think I'm going to paint over them. But that one part, if we left that one part black, or we painted that one part black, it's okay. But then it doesn't give your house as much dimension. It's kind of cool to have that in there. It just makes your house have a little bit more shape to it. I could paint right over these doors and windows. I put them in because I needed to know how far down my house was going to go, but I could paint over them now if I wanted to. And I stuck my arm in the paint. I apologize. We'll have to fix that. Tried to be careful, but if you guys been watching me for a hot minute, you know that I'm a messy painter. And that's it. We're just base coating in this whole entire thing. And I'm going to show you how we're going to do the windows and the door. And again, if you want to come back with a Sharpie later, you can have much cleaner lines on the edges of all of this. But you know me, I don't worry about that stuff. Okay? So we have our haunted house all done and filled in. Okay, let me see. Clean my brush. I'm going to see if I can get this purple off. Sometimes, depending on the paint, you can. Nope, I'm going to have to go over it. Okay, that's okay. We will fix that. Or you know what? Maybe that's where I'll put my spider. There's another trick for you. Okay. So we did the inside, we did around the house. I'm going to go back to my liner brush. I'm going to show you how we do a spider web. Okay. Get some nice fresh white on my brush. Again, I'm going to roll it through my thumb and my forefinger. I'm going to just pick a spot, any spot to start. And I'm going to make these scallop loops on a diagonal from one spot to the next. Okay? Then where each little dip in my scallop is, I'm going to draw a line to the corner. Okay? They all meet right at the corner. Then I'm going to get my white and I'm going to put in some of these more scallops. They don't have to line up. They can line up. Some segments can have more. Some segments can have less. It's totally up to you. Okay? And then I think my spider is going to go there. I'm going to come down here with the spider web. Okay? While I have white on my brush and my black is dry, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put a white circle in that part. I'm going to put a white circle in this part. I'm going to put a little white circle in this part, a little one in this part. This is going to get a larger window, so it's going to be like an oval. And then I have my window here, my door. I'm going to base coat them white as well. If I painted this all black, I would just add the white on top. And then if you want, I'm going to do the back of my brush. I'm going to put one here and I'm going to put one there as well. Okay? I'm going to let that dry. While I have the white on my brush, I'm going to come down here. I'm going to draw in these little triangles and fill them in. Now, it is 31 days of Halloween, so you probably know what I'm doing with these. But if you don't, you will find out quite soon. I'm making these triangles, but I want my, oh, got a little carried away with that one. I want my edges, they are triangles, but I want my edges to be rounded. Okay. And then I think we'll do one more. One more for good luck. Am I on? Yeah. And got those all filled in with white. Okay. While I have the white on my brush, I'm going to come in and I'm going to add a little bit of white. Oh, I don't want to put my arm in the paint again. To the right side of the house. This gives our house a little bit more dimension, makes it a little bit more interesting. We're only doing it on the right. And that's it. It just helps our house look a little bit more 3D, have a little bit more dimension to it, and that's it. Just a nice white line to the right of everything in our house. Okay, and I'm going to wash my brush. I'm going to go back to my round brush. So far we've used a 1-inch flat, a medium round, and a liner brush. Okay, I'm going to pick up some black, and I'm just going to scrub in a little bit of shadow underneath. I only picked up a tiny bit of black, and I'm scrubbing in. I'm going back and forth with my brush. That's why we made the tabletop a little bit more gray than black, because I can go in here. I'm holding my brush like on a 45 on a slant to the table, and I'm just rubbing it back and forth to make like that little bit of shadow. So we have some shadow under the table, and then the shadow under our triangles, which, if you haven't guessed by now, are going to be candy corn. Okay? While we're waiting for our house to dry, I'm going to come in here with the back of my brush, and I'm going to start adding in, whether it's confetti or fall leaves or whatever you want it to be. It's a snow globe, right? So we want something in there that when we shake it around, it's going to shake. So I'm just dotting in here some orange and yellow dots to give the illusion of our snow globe. And then I'm going to come back with my yellow, and I'm going to start finishing up the details to my candy corn. I'm using my round brush. I wonder why that one got black. I wonder if it was in my brush. Let me wash my brush again. Give it a nice dry. And go back to my yellow. When we do the segments of our candy corn, we do the yellow and the orange. You want to make sure you go over the white completely, and you want to give a little curve to it. We're painting on the flat, but everything is an illusion. I don't paint realistic, but these little tips and tricks help it seem like our candy corn is round, it's an actual snow globe, our base is round. It's all tips and tricks. Adding white to our paint, whatever it is. I'm just going to wipe off my brush, and I'm going to go into my orange now. I'm going to add my orange layer. Again, I'm putting my brush in here and a little bit of a curve. And we don't have to paint the white because we already have the white. Our white made a base coat for our yellow and our orange for our candy corn, and then it's the top of our candy corn. Okay, and there's our candy corn. I'm going to come in here to some black, and I'm going to draw in my spider. Now this might not have been the best place for the spider, but because I spilt purple there, it's going to be the place for my spider. Okay, and there's his body. I'm going to go back to my liner brush, give it a nice rinse and a dry, go back to my black, and now we're going to have our spider legs. Our spider legs are basically an L shape. They come out and then go down a little bit. So they come out and down, out and down, out and down. And there's our spider. Then I'm going to use the back of my brush and my white. I'm going to give him one eye and two eyes. Okay. Now if you wanted to put a plate on here, we could put a plate in here in white, put Happy Halloween, put boo, whatever we want to do. I'm not going to do that because I'm not a letterer, so I'm just going to leave it. But if you wanted to add a little bit of detail on here, put a banner or some kind of writing, you could. Okay. Oh, I'm going to get some of this green and some of this white. And I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to fix where I put my hand in the paint. More green, more white. And now I'm using the brush on the chisel edge to get over the white a little bit, and now I'm just painting it in. You see that? You can still see the white a little bit, but I can go over that again. Okay. Now I was gonna put ghosts in my snow globe, but I put too many dots. So now I'm gonna put my ghosts up here where I got nothing going on. Get my liner brush, put it in my white, and I'm going to make almost like an awkward S. So I'm going to make the big part and then come down with the tail. Now I'm going to draw the top of the ghost and come down with the tail again. We're going to fill this in. And then add one arm and add another arm. Okay, take the back of my brush in the black and put eye, mouth. And there we have a ghost. Again, I'm going to get my white and do another one up here. So I'm going to make like an awkward S. This time not so much of a curve, and then this part and make it get a little skinnier and fill it in. I like the bottoms of my ghost to just be like wispy. I'm going to give a little arm there, little arm there, and again I'm going to go into my black and I'm going to put an eye and an eye and a mouth. So there we have our two ghosts flying around the top of our snow globe. Now this is the tricky part, you guys. Okay, so I'm going to get out my dryer, because you need everything up in here in your snow globe. Oh, actually not yet. We're going to do our windows. Windows. Liner brush. So you can make the windows any color you want. Okay. So I'm just coming in here. I need to fix my brush. Got some loose fibers. You can make these any color you want. You can make them orange. You can make them red. You can make them yellow. And this is why we do the white background first, so we can come back in here and pick up some orange. Okay, and then I have some pink here. I might put out some pink. I think I'm just going to use the top. Wipe off my brush. I'm going to clean. Go into the top of my paint. I'm going to do this one in this really pretty pink. This is Royal Fuchsia. And this one. And then maybe I'll do, I guess I'll do another orange for this one. Okay. All right, now, oh, the door. You guys, what the heck? Oh, the door yellow. Okay. Now I'm gonna get my dryer. Okay. So, everything in your house needs to be totally dry now. Your windows, your confetti, your falling leaves, whatever it is, needs to be totally, totally dry. I'm going to take the back of my brush here with my liner brush. I'm going to dip it in the black. And I'm going to make little black dots in the middle of the white in my spider's eyes. This has to be totally dry. If it's not totally dry, you're not going to have a good effect of the snow globe. Just adding a little bit more shadow down here. Oh, but I'm messing up my bottom of my snow globe. All right, let's keep our fingers crossed that that's dry enough. Okay. All right, I have my rag. You have a paper towel, whatever it is. I'm gonna get my medium flat brush. You can use your large one if you want to, whatever one you use to do your background. Make sure it's nice and clean. I'm gonna wipe it off. So I have my rag, this dirty, disgusting rag. It's dry, but it's dirty and disgusting. I'm gonna dip in the white, loading my brush over here with white, and then I'm gonna wipe it off. If you want to try it over here, you can. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to gently start adding in a white glare. Pick up some paint, wipe it off, and I'm going to gently start adding in some white glare. I start out really, really light-handed and then a little bit more pressure. But you do not want it to be opaque. You do not want to see white. You want to be able to see the house and the trees. You can always add more, but you can't take away. Put my dirty rag down. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just taking my brush, I'm wiping it off, and I'm coming to this side and I'm curving in some glare to the one side of the snow globe bottom. Again, you can do this part with I should have done this before the glare. Oopsie. You can do this part with a paint pen or a Sharpie. It's up to you. But I'm adding in little crisscrosses in all my windows. Okay, the door doesn't get one. The windows do, and thank goodness my windows are out of the glare. And so I'm not doing my black lines over my glare lines. And if you need to do this with a Sharpie or a paint pen, a Posca paint pen, go right ahead. And there you have it. So let me turn you guys around. Is that the one? Yes. Pull that out. There you go. How fun is that? This is great for kids. Sit down, have a little art time. Don't forget to grab the tracer and hit the subscribe button. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for sticking with me for 31 days of Halloween.